Hi, this is Ogre from Skinny Puppy, and you're listening and hopefully experiencing Music and Mayhem with Jon Russell.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Music and Mayhem with Jon Russell. We got a great show for you tonight. We're live here at The Rock with Cannibal Corpse on their Tortured tour. These guys are really bringing some hot metal tonight. We also got a great lineup. We're going to go ahead and jump into our first interview with Ogre from Skinny Puppy.
On the phone, Ogre, the one and only from Skinny Puppy. How are you today, Ogre?
I'm good. Just rising to the beautiful irradiated skies of Southern California.
Excellent. Yeah, we're a little close to you, but we go to LA all the time. And I was looking at Handover, which is the latest release. It you tried to cross a few boundaries every time I listened to something that you guys are doing. What were you trying to accomplish with Handover?
Well, Handover was kind of an interesting experiment in both, an abstract and futility in dealing with a record label that had gone into an insolvency. And at the time that happened, a lot of things kind of went south in the economy that I'd been seeing for a lot of years, and so the idea of Handover actually came from, in a way, came from Stephen's artwork. Stephen Gilmore has been doing our artwork for years. He created this kind of collage of hands, and it inspired me to kind of think about the idea of both, our label in Germany is their head offices are in Hanover, and it seems like in a very simplistic way, we are very much handing over all of our spiritual freedom and our property rights and everything to some higher power at this point, and kind of leaving it up to the whim of whomever we might imagine is in control, and we're leaving the power up in their minds that they're looking after us, which in fact they're not. So I think Handover became kind of analogous to this preposition, and putting forth this idea that in order to move forward, you have to kind of give up all hope.
I noticed a lot of your releases have just been re-released in 2010 and 2011 as well, and I'm really glad because all my copies are worn out, so I get a chance to go back and listen to you. Who
released everything?
Well, I'm noticing that by looking online, it was released. Certain releases released in 2010, 2011. If you go to Spotify, yeah, it'll give you the dates when they were released.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, we'll cut that part out.
See what they're up to.
But yeah, see what Spotify's up to for sure. But I've been a long-time fan of Skinny Puppy, and you're more than just a musician and a creator. You're also a fantastic actor, and you're a composer, and you have some film projects coming up. Would you care to talk about that, Ogre?
I do, and thank you for that shout out. I hope I resemble that remark, but only time will tell, I guess. I really enjoy acting, and it's a lot of fun. I just finished a project actually with a really great group of people, kind of reuniting with Bill Moseley again, and a lot of people from the Repo, the Genetic soundtrack, the Genetic Opera cast, and that included Paul Sorvino and Alexa Vega. All came back, and of course Terrence Zunich, who wrote The Devil's Carnival and wrote Repo, came back to do a 55-minute film based on Aesop's fables, and kind of three people who kind of try and bargain their way through hell, are kind of placed into a purgatory situation where a bunch of carnies reside under Lucifer's control, and the carnies take these people through their purgatory paces, so to say. So that's coming out in March, and they're planning on doing a road tour in April, and yeah, that's something. I have another film coming up. It looks like it's it's coming together in again in April. It's filming in Pennsylvania called Scream Park. It's kind of I believe a slasher film set in an amusement park. So a lot of amusement parks for me, surprisingly enough. Yeah. Amusement parks, carnies, and creepy, denizens from some dark alley somewhere.
Well, that's cool. That sounds pretty much like Cleveland to me.
Yeah, it does actually. Or Baltimore.
So, Ogre, your acting career is going. I don't know if a lot of people know that you've actually done soundtracks before, and I had a chance to revisit Ugly from Saw 5. That's an amazing song, brother. Are you going to be doing any more soundtrack work as well?
Oh yeah, I hope to. Those opportunities come and go. I mean, Ugly was kind of more of a placement of one of the songs that was written for an album. We did that on The Great or Wrong and the Right. I think Ugly was from, or it might have been from Mythmaker. But so that was placed in that song, and what we really like to try and do is get more into actually scoring film, because we like to do a lot of work. A fair amount of commercial work. So scoring a film is a pretty fun thing to do, and something that we've done a lot of. So we'd like to kind of move into more scoring actually to picture as opposed to this, placements and stuff like that.
Very good. Do you foresee Skinny Puppy at any time in the near future doing any tours or shows?
Yeah. I think we're kind of in a recording phase again.
Right.
Recording an album with a tentative title of Weapon, and there's a very interesting story behind it, which I can't get into right now because we're just kind of conceptualizing the whole thing. If things work its way to the surface in a butter over milk sort of way, we should have a very interesting album at the end of these next few months, and then I have a plan for somewhat of a conceptualized tour to follow. It's going to be pretty over the top if it comes together the way that I'm seeing it right now. Of course, there's always the way you see things and then the way that things actually are. So we'll see how it comes together. But the concept's pretty solid, and if we can get behind it and get everything in line, it'll be a pretty interesting project. Kind of, I think, one of the most politically bent projects that I think we've done in a long time.
Well, you guys have always been pretty politically adept, number one, and number two, you guys have always seemed to think out of the box, out of the norm, and you've created some beautiful music over the years that really have affected us all. And we're just now finding out, what an exceptional actor you are, and how many different facets to Ogre there really is. You're not just a musician, We would like to thank you very much for the years that you've given us musically.
Thank you, sir. Very nice. It's like all I can do, really, and I am very proud of kind of the legacy that we stumbled into and stumbled through quite not by accident, by just having the intent of telling the truth in a way, and I guess I'm certainly a hair club member when it comes to a dysfunctional person, and I've been through a lot of things in my life that this project has kind of helped me work through that, and the Ogre project, my side project, it's kind of helped me work through, and I've been lucky enough to kind of have an outlet where I can use Skinny Puppy in a broader context, dealing with social issues or world issues or things I see outside of me, and then my side project Ogre, which is OHGR, is more kind of in tune with the internal psyche and universe. So I've been very, very lucky to have these projects, and thank you very much for listening. So if there wasn't an audience, I wouldn't exist. So thank you.
You're quite welcome. It's a real honor for us to be able to talk to you, and I'm sure our audience is going to enjoy your interview as well, Ogre.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Hopefully during this conceptualized tour you're thinking about, hopefully we'll be able to see some dates in the U.S.
Oh yeah, I mean it's going to be centered really around the U.S., and where it goes from there is where it goes. And I think this touring cycle for us, because we in the past carried a lot of weight, just because of things have changed over 26 years. And for instance, Kevin, my co-writer Kevin Crompton, 7 Key, has a massive monitor rig that he's carried for years, and he's gotten very he's used it for years, so he's used to it, and he's at this point thinking just because we need to just to save on costs, because shipping air is extremely expensive weight-wise and size-wise. So he's stripping all that down to a smaller in-ear monitor system. So it's going to open up for us the ability, hopefully, to travel to a lot of places that we've never gone before because of our weight restrictions. And of course, U.S. is our primary goal, and especially for this project, being that the politic is very much centered around the U.S.'s foreign policy.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we're all going to look forward to that. I know as soon as I find out tickets are online for sale, I'll be buying up quite a few for the office here.
You rock. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you guys have influenced me. After so many years of being in this business since 1967, you look for acts to revitalize and to kind of like help feed your impetus for the next day, and you guys have done that for me in a big way.
Oh, thank you. 1967. You've been in rock journalism, basically.
In entertainment, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
58.
58. So you're like a decade older than me, sir, and you sound younger than me. So
yeah, well, that's because I'm immature.
Well, I'm a hair club member there. I'm with you.
Yeah, we really enjoyed everything that you guys have done, and I'm looking forward to your new projects and actually seeing your film. It's incredible the amount of work that you guys have done over the years and the influence you've had on people. When you first started out, Ogre, who was like your influence? Who was what turned you on to want to enter this business?
Well, I think originally, I grew up in kind of a family who I had a brother who's a doctor who's much older than me, who was very interested in music and collected vinyl, back from the 30s throughout the 60s. He's obviously he wasn't born during the 30s, but he's collected back that far and has multiple copies of some of the best records, and the most cherished records. He has. I think he has multiple copies of Sticky Fingers by Rolling Stones with a zipper on. He has all these. He's just been an anal collector. So I was always around music, but never connected to a lot of the stuff he was listening to. And it wasn't until I think you obviously individuate when you get older and find some things that you like. But I kind of started in more psychedelia, and then back when I was listening to stuff that he was kind of playing for me, and then it slipped into kind of, I think when it really knocked for me was just the whole post-punk thing. I didn't really get the punk thing, to be honest with you. I got the ethic, but I wasn't as into the music as I am now. Now I listen to it, and I get it. And it's just that when you're younger, you're more specific.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. You're more
But I just didn't get it. Just like when I was young, I didn't get AC/DC, and I fucking totally get it now. It's like that's like things that you just kind of grow into. And I think what did it for me was kind of the post-punk bands, and I think and to a large degree the Cure. Like Robert Smith was kind of an archetype for me, and I won't lie about it. It's just the truth. He was kind of an archetypal character for me. And then the other archetypes, the other three in a trinity that I can name would be Ian Curtis, and which profoundly changed the way I looked at music and looked at lyric writing and looked at emoting on stage. And then the other weird character that kind of really sunk into me was Syd Barrett. And Syd Barrett, for some reason, brought home an aspect to my psyche that I deal with all the time, which is madness and that borderline sort of place that we all go to, where there's both happiness, extreme happiness, exaltation, and then extreme sorrow and remorse, and kind of flipping back and forth in that realm and finding your creative muse within that. Those are the people that to me are kind of the real edge cutters as far as kind of walking that line between the two worlds. And I guess I haven't modeled my life after that, but I've taken refuge in knowing that there's other people like that. And that I'm not fucked up. I'm not completely fucked up.
There you go. Yeah. Because we're all like that, really. All of us have a bit of that in us,
Exactly. So I think for me, the biggest joy I get is when somebody comes up to me and says, and it never ceases to feel the same, is when somebody comes up and says, you really helped me through a really dark time in my life, because that's exactly what those musicians did for me.
Well, I can tell you that you guys certainly helped me through 3 divorces.
Well, I've been through 2, sir. So.
All right. Okay. Good enough. Now, is there anything else you wanted to mention, Ogre?
No, just again, thank you very much for supporting this concept. I think, in this day and age, the reason why we're here, and the reason why, Skinny Puppy as a concept, as a structure in the music industry exists is because of fans and because of people like you, for example, who keep our name out there in the press, because we don't have any sort of mainstream press that's ever driven this band. Really, there's been a few trickles here and there out of just curiosity back when we first came out in the 80s, but it's always been fan-driven. And, we have an amazing kind of cult set of fans and people, and again, I have to thank you for writing about us for years and being a part of that, because, that's really what maintains it. And again, I have no ego in this, in the sense of I know, who puts food on my table, and it's people listening to this, and I'm just, again, so, I guess in a lot of ways humbled by the fact that for 26 years people have kind of listened and gravitated towards some of the little hooks that we put down in music, and some of the little mentions of information and thought that we've tried to put into the music that kind of takes it away from maybe normal pop music.
I agree. And, for those who haven't heard Handover, and that and more information can be found on skinnypuppy.com. Is that not correct, Ogre?
That's right, skinnypuppy.com, and then also at ogre.org, OHGR.org, has all the information for my solo project Ogre, which has a new album that came out about 3 months before the Handover album came out. A new album came out called Undeveloped, which I'm really proud of too. It goes back to a lot of kind of 80s, open synth stuff, and it tells a little story as well. So there's both those records available, and more Ogre stuff to come. And more Skinny Puppy stuff to come, and hopefully more films too.
Yeah, you guys, your music really, and this was something that I was thinking about last night, listening to some of the early material. It really is timeless. You hear that a lot about bands, but it's not necessarily true. But with you guys, your music is timeless.
Well, thank you. That's the nicest thing you can say. I mean, that means a lot to me, because I listen to a lot of it, and I hear some of it sounding dated, and then there's a few tracks definitely, things like Warlock, Smothered Hope, even things like that are still like, when I hear that lyric, I was just like, who was that young person that sang that old man's lyric?
Even with Assimilate, Assimilate.
Assimilate too, for sure. Assimilate, when we first did Assimilate with the triplets, I didn't like it very much. It sounded like kind of a, it was a bit fayish as far as the danciness of it over what I thought was the message in it. But again, over time, things sit with you, and you really see how it gravitates with people, and it gravitates towards people, and they kind of embraced it. And Assimilate in Europe is just huge. Whenever we go and do a European tour, we have to play Assimilate.
I can imagine. It's one of my favorites. I can tell.
And you know what? And the weird thing is too, when I was younger, I was in my 20s when we first wrote it. I had a little trouble keeping up with the rhyme and the rap, and over the years, my voice has gotten both less limber and more limber as far as things that I need to do with regards to singing, and less limber and talking and trying to communicate as I get older. But that song's gotten way easy for me to sing, and I really enjoy singing it now. So it's amazing how things take a turn over time too. It's just
very cool.
Okay. I can't explain that, but it's nice that it happens.
Well, there's one thing I'd like to ask you, for all the young bands out there who are thinking about doing the same thing that you've done for over 26 years now. And what is it that you know about the music business now, Ogre, that you wished you would have known on day one?
Well, I mean, it's twofold. I mean, had I known that, that if you make one good record like Two Dark Park for us, you should make 3 Two Dark Parks and suspend that, which we never did. So maybe that's something we should have done. But I go against all logic in that, and I tend to take more the spirit of the path less chosen. And in a lot of ways, I think that my only advice to anybody in music or in any art form, really, from what I see, even from fine art, from people going through the fine art sort of schools and being broken down, is that don't lose yourself within the process, and don't lose the reasons why you originally started making music, or the ideal of why you started making music, in order to conform to a construct that has no real no real value to you in the end, because they'll just eat you up and spit you out. So if you want to jump onto that, you might have one hit single and then you'll be gone. But the way that we did it, and I can't, honestly, I can't look back until I'm dead and say if it worked or not. But we chose a different path. We didn't take any sponsorships, or we couldn't get sponsorships because of our politics and what we were talking about. But we never kind of deviated from that path. And in the long run, I think that that's worked to our benefit in the sense that we didn't end up making 6 albums that sounded the same to try and milk it. And by that measure too, we didn't milk it. So we didn't get the like big mansions in the hills, and we didn't get all that stuff. But we're still a working band going through the process, and that process has remained the same. It's trying to find, it's basically the question to anybody is, what do you have to say and how are you going to say it? And that's what ideas are within art. All the rest of it is subterfuge, is fabrication, and it's dressing. It's the clothes on the emperor. But it really comes down to, what do you have to say and how are you going to say it?
Exactly. And we're going to be wrapping up here, Ogre. Is there anything you want to do? You want to give a shout out to your fans at all?
Yeah, man. I just want to say, thank you all for coming to these conventions that I go to, and saying hello at these horror conventions. It's been a real blast to see so many Skinny Puppy fans come out, and Ogre fans, and Repo fans, and hopefully Devil's Carnival fans. And again, I don't exist without all of you. So thank you very much.
And you can, more information on you yourself, Ogre, and Skinny Puppy can be found on skinnypuppy.com and your own site, which is OHGRE.org. OHGR.org.
There
we go. I knew I'd get it right the first 3 times. Ogre,
all right, now, well, it's a pleasure talking to you.
It was excellent talking to you. If I could just get you to hold on 1 moment longer. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Ogre from the one and only Skinny Puppy, one of the greatest industrial bands of the past 30 years.
Thank you very much.
Ogre, thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Come on and press your neck.
All right, welcome back. An ogre, skinny puppy, legendary guys. Great to have him on the show for sure. All right, we're gonna go ahead and jump to a comedian. His name is Mark Poolos, and a funny guy. So let's go ahead and take it on.
We're talking with funny man Mark Poolos, great comedian.
Okay.
Like right now, Mark, you're on tour.
Yeah, I'm traveling pretty much all over the country, and it's not a full tour per se, like with a name or any kind of thing like that. I'm just kind of.
Well, you do have a name.
Well, yeah, I'm called the Large Drunk Man.
Yeah.
That's my website, and that's my Twitter. It's Large Drunk Man, and
largedrunkman.com.
That's right. Check it out.
Check him out, because he is a crazy guy. I had a chance, we both did, we listened to some of your material. It's excellent material that you write.
Oh,
and
thanks.
it's no wonder that you're touring as much as you are.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I spent a long time there trying to figure out like what my thing was going to be. You know, that thing that people would know about me, like the big closer, the big whatever in my show that people would just be like, that's what I know that guy from. And I came to the conclusion literally only about a year ago that my thing is pretty much just being me and just writing material from my life and from my heart. And that's what, the more I did that and the more I wrote and the more people connected to me and the more fans that I've been getting and stuff like that. So it's just, you know, maybe this is my beginning of self-realization of my self-mythology is, you know, just who I am and just be me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like traveling's always a fun part of this job, you know. I don't know what it is, man. I always get in weird scenarios. Like I was going to a Halloween party a couple weeks ago, driving along, dressed up. Car accident happens right in front of us. We're like, holy shit, we run to help the lady get out of her car. And she looked at both of us and passed out immediately. And I was like, shit, that's right, I'm dressed like the Grim Reaper. I was like, get out of the car! The hell are you laying there for? This is serious, you know. And it wasn't helping matters at all, though. My buddy was dressed like Jesus. He was like, flashing a light in her eyes. We gotta go. Time to go. And she was like, I got so much more to do. It's like, do it tomorrow. Your car's on fire. The hell are you laying around for? Can you even imagine going through something as horrifying as a car wreck and the first thing you see is the Grim Reaper knocking on your window? Like, ah! You're like, I'm going out this way, and there's Jesus. Yeah, come this way. I'll protect you. This is my life, man. Crazy people love talking to me. I don't even know what that is, man. I was out in New York just minding my own business, and a crackhead with no pants on leaped from an alley, and he was like, do you like hazelnuts? And I was like... maybe on a special occasion, I don't... And he was like, it's special, my name's Hazel. Boom! It was like, fucking... That crackhead's been waiting in that dumpster for 4 hours waiting to say that. Got him. They're everywhere, man. Seems like the only way you can get a crazy person to leave you alone is you got to convince them you're crazier than they are, right? It's the only thing they understand. It's in a Greyhound bus station. This lady was like, do you speak to Jesus? And I was like, yes. He just told me to eat your hands. Woo! Shit! I gotta go! And I was like, see you on the bus. Keep those hands where I could see them. So I gotta eat your pinkies. Love me some pinky meat. And they're everywhere, man. They follow me around. I was doing a show down in the South, and nice people. They just like, some of them weren't getting the jokes. They just started asking me questions while I was on stage. I was doing this bit about my ex-girlfriend and how she hated diaphragms. All I heard from the crowd was, what the hell's a diaphragm? I was like, it's a form of birth control? Like, what the hell's birth control? I was like, well, sir, it's whatever you use so the girl doesn't get pregnant. And he was like, oh, I just use the ass. I'm like, holy shit. TMI, sir. There's not enough whiskey in the world to burn that out of your brain. I thought it was funny, though. I don't know, man. So many weirdos out there. But there's constant comedy, man. I laughed for like an hour and a half the other day watching an 80-year-old couple trying to get money out of a red box. I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I just want money. It keeps giving me movies. Turn on your TV for 5 minutes, man. Those medication commercials are constant comedy. They don't make any sense. Got that Ambien sleeping pill? Side effects for it are drowsiness and diarrhea. Well, great. That sounds refreshing. Imagine the surprise in those poor people's faces, insomniacs their entire lives. They finally find a pill that works for them. Like, finally, a full night. What the hell? There's shit everywhere. Your buddy calls. How'd you sleep? Like a baby. I pooped my pants. Some of the problems don't even sound real, like restless leg syndrome. Have you seen that one? I'm sure it's real. It just sounds frightening. That poor lady is like, well, I'm laying down. My legs feel like they need to run somewhere. Like, that sounds pretty serious, you know, that your legs are trying to run off your body. But she's pretty aloof about it. I take Mirapex, clears it right up. Do you know what the side effects for Mirapex are? Intense gambling and sexual urges. Well, great. That'll clear up the restless legs, right? It sounds like a Saturday night. Take these pills. We're going to the casino. You get some blackjack and blowjobs. I think the weirdest one that's out there has got to be that Restasis eye dropper. Have you seen that? Like, it's an eye dropper. What could go wrong? Well, right at the end, some lady's like, don't use this if you have eye herpes. And I was like, what? That's out there? Eye herpes? How the hell are people getting this? Is there some weird guy out there going down on chicks, giving them butterfly kisses? What are you doing? Shut up! It's my move. Haven't you heard of me? They call me the wingman. A couple days later, he's like, why does it burn when I cry? Like, oh, shit. You got some of that eye herp. Some of that Restasis. And why is it every pill that comes out to help us, diarrhea is a side effect for it? Is anyone else worried they're not curing us of anything? They're just giving us diarrhea to take our mind off of our problems, you know? Because I don't know how it is in your world, but when I shit my pants, that takes precedence over anything else that's going on at that moment. Mental or physical, you know? Like, man, there's too many people at this party. I'm freaking out. I'm claustrophobic. I can't deal with it. Well, shit my pants. So, I don't even care anymore. There could be sharks at this party. I could give a shit. I got a problem with my pantalones I got to clean up. Shut the TV off, man. It's rotting our brains. Go outside, live life, you know, see the world. Go to Walmart. It's always fun. Why is Walmart a carnival? I don't understand it. Every time you walk in there, you see crazy. I was in there like at 2 a.m. one time. There was actually a guy shopping in a Snuggie. I was like, get out of here. If that doesn't cry, I give up. I don't know what does, okay? If you're literally at your house, like, man, I got to hit the grocery. Well, I put pants on. I'm already wearing a blanket with sleeves. You've given up, okay? It was pretty late, and I was pretty high. I'm like, is that a wizard buying fiber bars? You see this guy, right? Okay. I love when you walk into, you see those motorized, like, little rascals with the baskets on the front of them, right? It's like, what? Who invented those? Listen, if you're so fat you have to drive around and get your groceries, chances are you're going to need a bigger basket than they put on the front of that thing, okay? I mean, if you're 700 pounds, getting to Walmart's a pretty big deal. You're not just buying tuna and crackers, you know? You're doing a lot of this, you know? It's ridiculous. They got those self-checkout lanes. People love the self-checkout lanes. Like 100 people waiting to use them. Nobody realizes they're a scam. It's like 10 people doing nothing, you know? And we're all checking our own groceries and bagging them up ourselves like it's some kind of cashier fantasy camp. And I'm like, I feel like a cashier. This is fun. Ooh, the gun. Fucking stupid, man. I racked my brain. I could only come up with one business that would be helped by self-checkout lanes, and that's porno shops, okay? Their sales would go up 1,000%. Can you imagine not having to make awkward eye contact with somebody when you're buying a rubber fist and a blow-up sheep? Best day ever! Nobody knows how weird I am. And the brown bag out the door. But I have a sick sense of humor. I would probably put the self-checkout lane in and then just make it talk just to mess with people. They're like, beep, one blow-up sheep. Oh, shit. Is there a mute button on this? I got a lot of crazy shit coming through here. I don't want people knowing my business. That's the hardest part for me is making that idle conversation with the cashiers. You're checking out all these weird items, you know. Put that giant vibrator on the counter. You know. It's like, wow, it's Mom's birthday. she loves rabbits. You know, big fan of rabbits. Some guys don't even talk to you. Some guys like get really in depth. One guy was trying to upsell me warranties on the sex toys I was buying. I'm like, who buys warranties on sex toys? How do I get stuck behind that guy in line trying to get his vibrator serviced under his warranty plan, you know? Like, dude, I bought this 6 weeks ago, okay? And it's not, okay? And my wife is pissed. She's not making meatloaf, so get your creep squad out here and fix my vibrator, you know? It'd be so great if they had a creep squad like Best Buy's Geek Squad, you know? Just some guy in a meatball stained shirt comes out, Larry! Oh, fucking son. Yeah, that's a shake weight, sir. So I don't even know how you're using that as a masturbatory device. Get out of my store. I like hanging out in Walmart because they make announcements that don't make any sense, right? Sometimes you're just walking around in there. I was in Aberdeen, South Dakota. They were like, if you're parked in the south parking lot, you got to move your car because we need to get our parking lot retard. I was like, there's no way that's right. This place would be picketed every day. I'm like, what's happening in this Walmart? I'm like, if there's a guy here lost called the parking lot retard, like, I'll find him, okay? I don't have anything to do today, so. Just turned out to be an easy fix. They were just retarring the parking lot, which made a lot more sense, but I was like daydreaming I was gonna find him. He's like in a bush eating ketchup, like, holy shit! Everybody's looking for you. It's like, I'm on lunch. Like, you get in this car, we're going drinking. That's a story you tell everybody, man. I partied with the PLR. It's the parking lot retard. A lot of people don't get abbreviations.
Very bad. So you just got through working and you have your brand new DVD out.
Yep, I just...
when can we expect that to be able to be purchased?
It's going to be available summer 2012. So I just got the audio back for the new CD that's coming out called Unbridled Enthusiasm. And when I get the video edited together, I'm going to either sell them together or separately, but the DVD is going to be called the same thing. So
oh, nice. So they'll be able to get the CD and the DVD all in one fell swoop.
That's the whole idea on that. So,
good.
Yeah.
Good.
Which is available on largedrunkman.com.
That's exactly correct. Now let's plug it as many times as we
might as well.
Exactly. I mean, you came all this way. I mean,
that's right.
I'm going to actually have that tattooed on my ass.
Oh, well, great.
Yeah, everybody will be able to see it that way.
Why is your ass out so much? That it would be a proper billboard.
It's a marriage thing.
Oh, all right.
I'm trying to attract divorce number 5.
Number 5? You've been married 4 times.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Holy crap.
Did Duke need to talk to me? Or?
No.
Okay. Is everything cool?
Yeah, he just wanted to talk to me about some Warzone stuff.
Oh, okay.
Warzone
Wrestling. Yeah, I was Mr. Senior Automatic. And I would come out and my opening line was, you may not remember me, but your mothers do. I had a piece of fruit bounce off my head. Little kids were running up to Mom, Mommy, do you know that man?
Got her.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So hopefully we'll be able to get you out to a match sometime.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Comedian versus promoter.
Oh,
how's
man.
that?
I am into it.
Are you?
Whenever you need me out there, I love wrestling.
Cool, cool.
I've been into it since I was a kid, so. Well,
so who inspired you from day one to just want to go out there and be a comedian?
Oh, it was George Carlin by far.
George Carlin.
When I was a teenager, I listened to the 7 Dirty Words cassette tape that I had cassette tape, and it just blew me away at how funny he was and how much he was able to use wordplay and just create this just amazing, thing that just inspired me. And I never actually thought I wanted to be a stand-up comic. Like, I just loved him. And later on in my life, when I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, My mom was
a couple
reading
weeks ago, or sitting around the house
yesterday,
drinking a beer.
Yesterday,
yeah.
Actually, my mom called me and said, "Hey, they're teaching a class on how to be a stand-up comic. You should take that because you're funny." And I'm like, "All right." So I took it, and the rest was history.
Nice.
The guy running the class thought I was a natural, took me on the road with him, and told me about a friend, and his friend took me on the road for a while, and before I knew it, I had a solid like half an hour show, and I was opening for guys like Damon Wayans and Sinbad and
nice.
Louis Anderson and stuff, and after that I was able to figure out how to become a headliner and just started touring the clubs all over the country.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, you've done a great job.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
We love the material. And in order to see or hear that material, you need to go to largedrunkguy.com.
Actually, it's Large Drunk Man.
That's right. It's
You're
only
killing me here.
Leave that in.
Don't.
No, I'm kidding. He won't.
Bend over.
Yeah.
I'm putting it on your ass the correct way.
That way, everybody can tell me what it is.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so we love what you're doing. Is there anything you'd care to say to your fans before we end the interview today?
Just, keep an eye out for me. I'm doing something new and different on stage. I feel like it. People tell me all the time that it's not like anything they've ever seen. So if you have any interest in finding out, for yourself, if I'm the type of comedy that you'll like, check out.
I'm sure they will.
LargeDrunkMan.com.
That's correct. That again is LargeDrunkMan.com.
That's right. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No, thanks for being had.
Oh, all right.
All right, thank you very much, Mark Poolos. Funny guy, didn't I tell you that? All right, Jon Russell's Music and Mayhem. Here's a special music video for you guys. Here you go. special interview tonight with a local band called Conversation Suicide. Great guys. We're going to go ahead and jump to that interview. Hey, what's up, everybody? You're watching Music and Mayhem with Jon Russell. We're here tonight with Conversation Suicide. Cool local band. Here we go. I'm going to introduce the group.
My name's Slam. I play bass and do vocals and mostly backup vocals now.
My name's Cross, drummer.
Dilo, guitars and vocals.
Awesome, guys. So you guys are up and coming. You have a CD in progress. You're working on a CD?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Do you have any expected time periods that you're aiming to have the CD out for your 2012. Awesome. How would you describe your music?
Dilo calls it scrap metal. That works for me. It's like a mixture of metal, rock, punk, a little pop, some ballad, some funk, mix it up.
Very cool. I definitely like the scrap metal vibe. Dilo, you got something to add on that?
No, well, just scrap metal brings everything. So it's just heavy, soft, mediocre, punk, blues, and pretty much that's the way I describe it, scrap. So I just said scrap metal because I don't know really where we're standing.
Their own style.
Right?
Awesome, guys. Do you have any up-and-coming shows you'd like to represent on the show tonight?
I think we might be playing in June. I'm looking over this way towards G-Man or Gypsy, but not for sure. July with Richie, Ramon. Okay. July 21st this year. And then we may have some other shows before then, but right now, not booked. Just working on the demo and practicing and, doing our thing.
Right on, guys. Well, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. Definitely check out Conversation Suicide and keep in touch. Thank you.
Yeah.
right, thanks, guys. Reporting from The Rock, Jon Russell's Music and Mayhem. Catch you next time.